thanks to our sponsors, Watchman Cigars, 1812 Barbecue, Blue Collar Cycle Shop, and Operation Decisive Victory. Without you, this would be way more expensive.
Welcome to the next Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Those who are watching on Facebook Live and also catch our YouTube live stream. Also, those who are probably tuning in later this week to watch this recording. Obviously, we're missing a couple of people. They're off doing other things, probably doing some secret missions to somewhere unmentionable, maybe. Anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. We have producer Brian on the other side of my screen here.
Hey, guys.
And I am Mojo. This week is we're going to kind of do something a little different here. But anyway, let's get our credentials out of the way. You can find us on our Southern Fried Philosophy website at southernfriedphilosophy.com, where you have our playable links. They are approved for work, especially they are suitable for homework, I guess most likely, especially this episode will be. You can also find us wherever you download your podcast, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever. Just go in and search Southern Fried Philosophy. Hit the subscribe button, give us a review, give us a rating. Also, you can find us on the Twitters and Instagram at SFP Radio. Our Patreon link at patreon.com/SFP Radio. Hopefully, we'll be starting our Insiders back up episodes here soon. And you can find us on the YouTubes at youtube.com/SFP Radio. Also, Facebook is where you're probably seeing this most likely right now as you're strolling through the old TikToks on another app, or you're searching Facebook Marketplace for that used mattress. You find us here. So anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. So, Brian, I guess how you be doing?
Yeah, it's going to be a good show here, I think. I'm good. Is it just me, or is it is this the hottest it's ever been in North Carolina? It just feels like
I think we say that every year. You know what I'm saying?
You don't get used to it. I've lived here my entire life.
I'm sweating inside my house right now, and it's probably like 68.
Yeah, I had to turn my fan off so you wouldn't hear the buzzing noise, in my microphone while we're recording here. So I had I think it's half relates to our show tonight, but I had a what I'm calling a chicken fail. And it relates to the heat a little bit, but I was going to make, I think it was last weekend. Are you familiar with ballistic chicken?
I'm not.
It's essentially fried chicken made on a smoker.
Okay.
So you basically you bread it up and you run it a little bit hot, but for the pit barrel. Looks amazing. I've been wanting to try it forever. So I bought a whole chicken. I was going to cut it up. And I went to do it on Sunday, and I noticed that the package was open a little bit. And I ain't playing with chicken. It had a little kind of a funky smell to it. So, all right, well, whatever. This is a fail. So I went outside, I just tied up in the garbage bag and threw it in the trash can. That was Sunday.
Trash will come on.
It's like trash comes on Friday.
That's right.
Yeah, it's tomorrow as of, so all week I've been avoiding the trash can outside. Like I just had stuff piling up by the door because if you walk outside, it smells like a bunch of dead animals.
It's probably ballistic chicken right now.
Terrible. Yeah, it's ballistic, all right. But so trash is tomorrow. It gets picked up. So I had to go get the trash out of the house, and the trash can is tonight. Oh, man.
Kind of right.
I almost decorated the yard a little bit, but it was rough. How you be doing?
Well, I can remember a trash fail also with I think it was last Thanksgiving. Our illustrious Concord City decided to skip the following Friday, Black Friday, I guess, for trash pickup and move like another 3 days. So the neighborhood was pretty ripe when you pulled in. So because it's collectively, everyone in the neighborhood. So,
everybody, yeah.
I'm doing great. Just a lot of hours this week, a lot of miles on the road with picking up motor scooters, and a lot of work at the shop. But just life under this day 1100 under quarantine lockdown. I've lost track. I've lost all hearing in my left ear.
Mm-hmm.
I just get all sight in my left ear. But no, just busy. Just
Yeah.
Basically work, sleep, eat, come home, shower, go back. And, but my addiction is work and my hobby is work. So it's kind of a good,
so
it's a good thing.
Be happy
for me.
then.
Yeah. I have no qualms about
Busy
it.
is good.
Yeah.
Busy is good when you're self-employed, especially.
Oh, absolutely. So,
yeah. So I had the idea last week. We found out the big one was bailing on us. So the two of us were left to our own devices, and I've been wanting to do a food show with you for a year, probably, or longer.
Yeah. Food's always good. So.
Yeah, food's good, and it is the hottest part of summer right now to me. Actually, it's probably not even the hottest part of summer. It's like almost the hottest part of summer. So maybe we're not outside cooking as much, but grilling seems like a topic that I really enjoy, and I know you've got some experience.
It's kind of, as we get older, it's that ultimate dad thing. You cut your line on a Saturday, you stand back and look at it in your New Balance shoes that are tarnished green, and then you get to fire up the old grill and drink a natural light. I mean, it's just no better Saturday.
Yeah, and the food tastes better when the grass is short.
I think that's a rule, actually.
Yeah, I enjoy cooking outside a lot more when the yard looks good. So,
right.
So we're going to jump in a little bit. Hopefully we have some participation on the Facebook. We're going to have some question and answer sessions here if folks jump in on us. So start off. So we're talking about grilling. The first thing you got to do if you're going to grill, and we're talking about outside grill. We're not getting into grill pans inside or those fancy
that's not
things built into.
That's just a cast iron skillet with ribs in it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're talking about the real thing. We're not going to cheat too much here. So we got to have a grill, right? You got to have something to start off with. There's a lot of opinions out there on this stuff. I have my own, of course, and I'm sure you have a few. So where do you land on the gas versus charcoal debate?
Well, I've probably been strictly charcoal for probably 10 years. I mean, the convenience of gas, just go out there, hit the old ignition, or, if you don't have that igniter, and just, open the propane tanks, let it eat, and throw a match and run. The convenience of gas is obviously a lot better, but I think it's that romantic ritual of charcoal lighting. There's actually a skill to it,
Yep.
And actually, there's a whole huge rabbit hole of diving down into what you do: the outer rim, the snake, the pyramid triangle shape. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's all kinds of just creative ways of doing that.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I'm in the same camp. I've been using charcoal exclusively for at least 8 or 9 years, I think. And a lot of it comes down to I don't think I've ever had a good experience on a gas grill.
Yeah.
Like cooking myself. You roll into like a rental house. That's usually where I run into them, and they're not in good shape half the time.
Oh, yeah.
And there's always like a crazy hot spot somewhere, and everything gets burned. Like if I touch a gas grill, it's getting burned. That's just the way it happens.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, even in the restaurant business, I think like even flat grills are better quality grill, or you have a better product on a flat grill inside versus a char grill or outside. I mean, you get that little char grill taste from the propane, but I don't know, there's just something different, especially now, with like charcoal technology. I mean, you got the low quality, crappy stuff that you get at the bottom shelf at the gas station, or you can get like I use like that Kingsford Professional briquettes, which are like extra burning time, extra heat. So there's like a competition series. It's cheap. You get it at Sam's or BJ's Wholesale Club or Costco, whatever. They all have it. 2 bags for $15 or something.
Yeah, there seems there's a lot of boutique charcoal right now.
Right.
Because growing up, or for me, it's always been there was Kingsford and there was like Food Lion brand, or what you would see in the store brand, whatever, or Matchlight. Yeah. But now you have like like BB, and there's like the Cowboy Lump charcoal, or the lump wood charcoal. Yeah. Which I used a little bit, but the consistency harder to measure.
Well, I think
smoking.
I've never had a really good experience with that Cowboy hard lump, but I think I also made mistakes in the past with that where I didn't let it get hot enough. I think it's a different product. Like with charcoal, it's just like 20 minutes. You got a good ash, and you can just let her eat.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm sure probably people could debate this, but I do like Kingsford. I think there's another company out there called Royal Oak. I think that's like cooking over a hot dumpster. I don't prefer that at all.
Yeah.
I don't like the matchlight stuff that has it's infused charcoal fluid because it takes a while to burn that stuff off. Otherwise, you have that kind of chemical taste.
Yeah, and by the time the lighter fluid burns off, the fire's gone, and you need another bag to keep cooking your hamburger.
Absolutely. Like I found my little go-to here lately because I'm too cheap and too dumb to actually pick lighter fluid up. So I had these little tumbleweeds, basically just like they call them tumbleweeds, basically just wood shavings. I think they're probably infused like a paraffin wax or something like that. And you can place those strategically in the briquettes and go ahead and light that. And that's been kind of my go-to starter because charcoal. If you don't think with charcoal, if you can layer that charcoal lighter fluid on there, and if you do not burn that stuff off, you're eating a contact buzz or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to the cowboy stuff for a second, I think a couple of times I used it reminded me of like a bag of potato chips because you get all the big lumps at the top, like the really nice charcoal, and then by the time you get to the bottom of the bag, it's just a pile of dust. You don't get your whole value.
That's right.
What you paid for. So I'm curious. This kind of almost goes into what the next topic, but do you don't use a chimney at all when you use charcoal?
No, I do the pyramid stacking method, and then just strategically place the tumbleweeds, and then I let her rip and walk away for about 20 minutes, and then come back and get a roll.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the chimney.
Yeah, you get a little faster start on your.
Yeah, you get it, and you can start it with anything. You can start it with balled up newspaper. You can use those little fire starters like you were talking about. My wife actually bought a pack of them for Christmas for me like 3 years ago. Well, a pack was a box of 100. It was and they looked like these little like hamster like treats or something. But I've still got. If anybody needs fire starters, let me know. I got like a whole case of them still.
Yeah.
But I have my grill is the Weber Performer charcoal grill. So it's kind of a fancy charcoal grill. It has the table built into it, but it has a propane charcoal starter. That's, to me, what propane's for, is starting charcoal. So I can set my chimney right on top of there, turn the flamethrower on. 5 minutes later, it's all smoky. And
yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I have the $99 off-season, some off-make kettle brand that I got because I'm telling you, I'm cheap. In fact, I used to have a chimney starter, but I broke it. It just got so rusted, broke, and so I've had to switch up methods. But
yeah. Well, I'd rather use a cheap charcoal than a cheap gas grill.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, you can't go wrong with a kettle. I mean,
so versatile.
Yeah, I think like some I was like discontinued clearance item. I even had like it came with a pizza oven stone and like the extra ring. I threw all that stuff in the garbage. I just wanted the grill, so I didn't need it. And you can't put the damn stone in the oven because the stone's bigger than the inside oven. So yeah, but you can't go wrong with a kettle. And you can cook a lot of stuff. People always talk about like, they're so small. Actually, they're not. I mean, I probably can cook 20 burgers in correct placement on a kettle grill, and they cook fast too. So
yeah, and I think a lot of the things people do wrong, like if you do charcoal, is a learning curve, and you got to almost, to me, you have to do a 2-zone to really get the most out of it.
Right.
For the way I cook anyway, even if it's If it's burgers, usually not. But anything else, I want that high heat, and then I want that warm zone to let things rest a little bit or keep cooking. And when I first started cooking, I just would dump the chimney or make the pyramid, and I wouldn't even try and spread them out. Then I started learning about the different ways to basically use the charcoal grill to get different temperatures. Or even if you wanted to use it, we're not going to talk about smoking too much tonight, but that's the great thing about a kettle is you can use. I've done Boston butts on there using that snake method, and that'll cook for like 7-8 hours.
Yeah,
if you do it right.
That's right. You just gotta keep an eye on it and feed it right. But yeah, charcoal grills, I think, just more versatile. I mean, from longevity, not having to. Because how many times you see on Facebook Marketplace like curbside pickup for free? It's never a charcoal grill. It's always that stainless steel, high dollar members mark. With like needs burner plate or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've even run into you can always find a used gas grill on like Craigslist or whatever too. I think you have to get a good one if you're going to get a gas grill. Like you can't mess around.
Yeah, but the ones always for free on Marketplace are the ones that are like, it's like scoring a pair of dirty panties at Goodwill. It's always like disgusting. I mean, you never want that grill after so, yeah.
Actually, I've used enough rental house gas grills to just out of necessity, really. But my grandfather had a Weber gas grill when I was growing up, and I swear he had that in my entire childhood, the same one.
Probably so, yeah. And
it just worked forever. So I mean, that's a brand. If people are shopping for brands, that's one I am married to. Essentially, I'm going to be cremated in a Weber kettle.
Well, kind of unique. Yeah. If you're ever in Chicago,
big one.
If you're ever in Chicago, and you decide to risk being shot, there's actually a Weber steakhouse there. It's actually really good. It's the spot. I don't know if you've been there. Maybe it's really good.
I had a amazing grilled salmon there back in like 2002, I think. Long time ago, but it was fantastic. It was a great restaurant. They're actually they have got grills out there in the open kitchen. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they do a good job. I think they're still open. Of course, I've been in Chicago in quite a few years, but
yeah, that was the last time I was in Chicago. I think maybe one other time, but I didn't go in the downtown.
Yeah,
almost got my shoes shined in Chicago once, but a guy walking down the street. Questions in the Facebook chat here. Actually, Biggins asking about, would you suggest a charcoal starter? I'm assuming he's talking about those like hot plate charcoal, like the coil ones. So if that's what you're talking about, Biggin, let us know. I've never used one of those myself.
I never have. I've used the blue gas or yellow gas used for like soldering pipes. I've used those like a torch. I've used those to start charcoal. Yeah, they're hot.
Yeah, and I'll use a blowtorch to start some pellets on one of my other toys we'll get into later. The chimney, I personally recommend every time. I use a chimney every time. To me, it's very versatile. I actually have two. I have one I take camping with me. And it has a little grill that'll sit on top of it, so I can actually cook a steak or something right on top of the charcoal.
Yeah, it's like a rocket stove.
Yeah, kind of thing. But it folds flat. It's kind of neat. Talking about lighting methods, I actually was watching a video today. A guy was in the woods, and he made a campfire, and he brought a propane tank and like a weed burner blowtorch. And he like set his wood up and just like, like lit it to it with the blowtorch, which is fun to watch. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I've seen people sear steaks with those too. But on the YouTubes.
Absolutely.
All right, so moving on. The next part is after you get your grill, is you're going to need some other accessories probably. I mean, you could just throw a piece of meat on there and start going. Is there any like accessories or fancy like tools or toys you use when you're outside cooking?
No. Tongue spatula.
Yeah, I mean, basic. Not a plastic one, but
no, they probably wouldn't use. They probably wouldn't do too well. I don't like the Father's Day gifts. You get the tongue spatula, for the grilling set. I think they're garbage. I mean, just go to a restaurant supply house and grab a couple pairs of tongs are like $3 a piece, and grab a couple spatulas. They're probably $3 to $5 a piece, and leave those Father's Day, in a mahogany cabinet, whatever it is, mahogany case or whatever.
Yeah, it's got a case. You open it up, it smells like cedar or something there. Yeah. It's like green felt. Actually, I have a set that was a gift. It wasn't, I don't think it was Father's Day, but it was a Pampered Chef grill set. It's really nice, actually.
Yeah.
It's really,
they're
really
nice.
heavy duty stuff. Yeah. But the spatula has like this serrated edge on it.
Mm-hmm.
So if like ninjas came at you while you were cooking hot dogs, you could take care of them.
You can do
really
some
easily.
damage, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do like having a grill basket for like veggies and stuff, to toss stuff around. Mostly that's it. And maybe I've used a couple of those, like, they're not single use, but 2 or 3 use, like perforated things you put like fish or shrimp on.
Yeah.
You don't want to skewer it so it doesn't like stick. I think having a good thermometer is really important especially before you figure out what you're doing. Make sure you're not going to poison anybody.
Yeah, I think a good digital thermometer. Those things are kind of just start out with just grab a fold out one, like the classic pocket knife look. There's just several fold out ones that you can buy at Amazon or Walmart or whatever.
Yeah. There's a huge market for those now. I have a Thermopop, and I have one of those fold ones. I forget what it's called, though. It was very recently given to my dad. Will every time he buys a grill toy, he gets 2.
Okay, that's cool.
Just passes one along. So, okay, I don't need another thermometer, but thanks.
I think my dad switched to the George Foreman grill, so I don't get any crap.
Oh man, that's a travesty.
I know, right?
I had one of those when I was 19.
No, I haven't tried any of the I mean, I actually bought one of those vegetable baskets, but I've gotten to the point now where like I like different types of sides. Like if I'm gonna have a steak, I don't want I'm already eating something that tastes like the grill. I don't want my vegetables to taste like the grill too. So I've kind of been a bugaboo about that.
That's it. You sound like my wife. She has to think about things that taste smoky that shouldn't taste smoky.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I can see that.
I made something while we were on vacation. I think it was a pork chop. Was it a pork chop? I hung something, and it was a smoker. And instead of, I put too much wood in. That's what I did. So it was like really, really smoky flavor, very woody smoke flavor. Let's see, baskets. I like to have a pair of gloves, rubber gloves handy, just for handling, switching over. So I'm not running back in the house a bunch, to wash my hands. If I throw raw chicken on there, that kind of stuff. That's a personal preference. So yeah, that's. I think that kind of covers I'm pretty simple too when it comes to accessories on the cooking stuff. I've gone through a couple of different like cast iron grill grate solutions. I ruined one completely. I probably could have like sanded it down and reseasoned it, but I was too lazy to deal with that. Then another one showed up. It was Grill Grates, if you're familiar with that brand.
Mm-hmm.
That one's been okay. I like it because you can flip it over and get like a hot plate kind of griddle situation going for burgers. Let's see. So let's move on to what I think's the kind of the best part of the show tonight. I want to give you guys like kind of methods or recipes for the top grilled items, and see. I'm really curious to see where Mojo goes with some of this. If he has any brilliant ideas or not for some of these. So first thing up, I know you're the burger guy. So if you're going to put a burger on the grill, is there a particular recipe you use, or do you like a certain fat quantity in the meat? Like, what's your process there?
Well, 80-20 is kind of the basic standard ground beef, that 80% meat to fat. Sorry, my dogs are scooting the dog walls around. I think anything leaner than that is just, I don't know. The fat's where you get the flavor from. That's what they always say. That's what Grandma used to say when she was feeding fatback sandwich. I mean, that's just where you get the flavor from. No, I'm simple. Salt and pepper on seasoning, because a burger is about condiment. The condiments that you're adding. It's not really about the condiments and also the bread quality. So, like a burger, salt and pepper. That's it. Seasoning wise, sometimes I'll mix it up. You can actually do like if you want more of a rich flavor, like grape. I usually do like a Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, Worcestershire, a little bit of chopped onion, and just mix it up in the ground beef and make patties out of that. But basically, I'm simple, man. Salt and pepper.
Yeah, that sounds like a grilled Salisbury steak almost.
Yeah, it does. But that's kind of a very savory, kind of like I said, very savory, kind of rich flavor. That actually, I think I saw Gordon Ramsay do that, and it was actually interesting. So I kind of stuck with that. But I like the simplicity.
Yeah, my go-to as far as seasoning goes, I'll get the fattiest meat I can find usually, but I really like doing salt, pepper, and a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder. Because for me, it just adds a little extra. In the meat, like in the middle of the burger when you're eating it. Now the thing I run into, and this is the thing I've never. Someone just said that was Leon's meatloaf recipe. You just get it out of the grill there.
It does. It does sound like it.
Is I can't get and this is the problem I've never solved, is the poofy burger. Like they're always, they're always like the little. I'll make this massive hamburger patty, and it's like 4-inch ring, and you put it on the grill, and mostly this is because of all the fat in it. And you come back and you got this little. It looks like a piece of charcoal got left on top of the grill or something.
Yeah, that's an easy fix.
Okay, what's the fix?
All right, take yourself a piece of wax paper, tinfoil, probably in a 5x5 square, and you're gonna obviously make like a big ass meatball, and then you're gonna cup your hand, like a C. Yeah. And you're gonna push the meat into the surface of the hand, and just kind of twist it around. So you're forming a patty. So therefore, because trust me, my parents would. Make half-pound burgers that were the size of a chicken nugget, and they would. But I had to go out and basically show my parents how to do the same thing after kind of figuring it out after working in the restaurant industry for so long. But yeah, that's easy. It's a very simple fix. So
you're making it round. So you have and the chat room is talking about the thumbprint. Like you push a hole in the middle. And that's never worked for me for some reason.
It's fake news.
Yeah. See, Lisa said she does a knuckle or something, but
I guess you can. I mean, I'm not mad at you if you do it. I mean,
okay, I'm gonna have to try that because that's the one thing I can say honestly I have not figured out with burgers on the grill, and half the time I'm buying the pre-made thing anyway.
Oh, don't do that.
And I'll throw some. This isn't how fast I want to go.
Well, see,
nowadays. Well, I ordered a bunch of stuff from like Showmars for groceries back in 1996 when the pandemic started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
that year we graduated high school.
Yeah. So it was like a stack of hamburgers. Like it looks really good. They turned out to be these super thin restaurant
oh boy
burgers. So I tried doing those on my grill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the
mistake. There's the frozen patties too. The reason why I don't do the frozen patties, I go over to someone's house, they have them. That's cool. I mean, I understand, they're convenient, but the way they process, they're machined. It actually contrasts contorts the muscle fiber in the beef.
Yeah, it makes it tougher, right?
It does make it tougher, and but also a lot of times some companies, you got to watch out for the ingredients because some companies will actually add extra beef flavoring to the meat because they a lot of times companies will add like a sodium water type product to the meat to bulk it up. So therefore,
sure,
the raw weight will be 6 ounces, but the finished cook weight will be 2 ounces because you're getting all that shrinkage and stuff from the extra crap they're adding. So, yeah, one of these days after lockdown and you're not quarantined anymore, I'll show you how to patty out a hamburger.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, actually. So for our listeners, if you weren't hungry going into this, we didn't really warn you, but you're probably going to need to be running out to Cookout or something after this, getting something. So after burgers, the next thing I was going to go into is, actually, before we finish the burgers, buns toasted or not?
I think it depends on the bun. Because that here in the South we have Merita Bakery, which is kind of a real soft. It's basically a high sugar content dough. Toasting those is kind of really no benefit. You just got to basically one of those buns. You got to let her eat. As soon as you put that burger together, you got to eat it quick because that thing's going to dissolve pretty damn quick. So, like a brioche or pretzel bun, yeah, I think those things are better toasted. I think those add a little extra body to the. Basically the bun is basically just the vehicle to get it to your mouth. So
yeah, I like the toasting just to kind of make it hold up, especially on the softer bread.
Sure,
that doesn't fall apart when I put a half cup of chili on there or something.
Yeah, right.
So after burgers, I want to get into chicken. Now, when I was growing up, barbecue chicken was probably the worst thing that ever came to my table because it was overcooked every time. It was always chicken breast, and it was always thin, and it was always crispy. Now, I've learned a way around that now, but what is your standard barbecue chicken method?
Well, if you go to the meat section of the grocery store, wherever you go, butcher store, grocery store, they have these chicken breasts now that are ginormous. They're not, they're like the double D's of the chicken, coop.
Yeah.
I actually like to either butterfly those or actually take some saran wrap and just pound the hell out of them and actually it'll make a better product too, the pounding, just because you're separating that muscle fiber and making it more tender. Barbecue chicken, we're just not a big fan of that here at the house.
Not a fan of it, huh?
Yeah, okay. But if I was to do it, I would probably, just simple seasonings, salt, pepper, garlic powder, garlic salt, something like that, and probably dehydrated onion, and then chicken. You don't want to. I'm not a big fan of cooking at a high heat.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be kind of in your kind of cooler zone on your grill, and just kind of slow cooking it. And obviously once you make that first flip, you're going to start basting it with whatever your preferred sauce is. I mean, or mopping it depends upon how thin your sauce is. So.
Yeah, so barbecue chicken is probably one of my favorite things to make on the grill because I feel like I finally figured it out.
It's because you're a Yankee.
Somewhat?
You're a Yankee.
Is that it? Well, and maybe it's because I had so much bad barbecue chicken as a kid that now that I know how to make, I feel like I finally figured out the issue. And that was brining the chicken. So anytime I'm going to put chicken on a grill, I either marinate it for a very long time or I dry brine it, or even when I first started brining, I would do a salt and sugar solution, which essentially brine is a salt solution as opposed to just a marinade, but usually has oil in it. I've found that makes cooking chicken way more forgiving, even when they're the big pieces, because just the way the brine keeps a lot of the moisture in the meat. I've slightly overcooked barbecue chicken that's been brined, and it still was really, really good. And this is where I like the 2-zone method on the charcoal grill, because I'll give it a little bit of high heat for a few minutes, and then I like to flip it and put it on the slow side and let that just bake basically for a while. And then I'll sauce it and caramelize the sauce real quick again on that high heat.
Right.
It's made. I love making it. I do pork chops the same way, basically. with the brine and everything. And another, so not barbecue chicken recipe, I want to kind of throw out there real quick. I actually found this for making chicken gyros or gyros, depending on where you're sitting right now. And the marinade is one of my favorite grilled chicken marinades. And I'll do it a lot of times with thighs, but it's like olive oil, lemon juice, oregano, salt and pepper. There might have been something else in there, but that lemon juice and the olive oil makes a fantastic marinade for chicken to be grilled.
Actually, if you next time you go to probably Trader Joe's, I'm sure, look for the sour oranges or sour lemons.
Oh, yeah.
And
like Mayer ones?
What's that?
It's like a Meyer lemon? Those are sour ones?
Yeah, they're like
okay.
But they're actually a preserved lemon. Is very big in Mediterranean areas. It's like a pickled lemon. That's kind of a game changer. It kind of gives you a little bit, because the spices you're talking about is kind of a Mediterranean feel. So adding that preserved lemon kind of gives you a different thing. So you have to try. I think you're going to try go on Amazon and look up tandoori clay tandoori, something like that. You can actually throw that on your grill, and that kind of gives a really unique flavor to chicken also.
Yeah. Is it seasoning? Tandoori seasoning? Or
no, tandoori. It's
like an oven. Like the oven.
No, it's actually like a it's like a temple teepee for your chicken worship. I don't know how to describe it. But, yeah, I mean, tandoori's
that's a show title right there. I gotta.
Oh man, yeah, tandoori clay pot. I'm sorry, tangine.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Tandoori chicken also.
Yeah, but the recipe. Yeah, there's the thing from talking about. It's just basically a clay pot that has kind of a steam flute at the top of it. And, you can do chicken, you can do pork in it, whatever you want. Some good eating right there. That's not really a southern thing, but I guess maybe southern India or Morocco, whatever.
Yeah, southern hemisphere maybe, right?
Yeah, it works though.
So we got some questions about what a brine is. And basically it's the solution. I just pulled up a quick recipe. Was a gallon of water, 3/4 a cup of salt, and 2/3 a cup of sugar. This one actually had soy sauce and olive oil, which I would not do. But the salt and sugar, it's a lot of salt to make a brine, and don't do it for more than 2-3 hours, or you're going to make a salt lick instead of chicken.
Well, the salt is it breaks the protein muscle fiber up, so it's kind of a tenderizing.
It tenderizes it.
And what used to be one of my favorite restaurants, Chick-fil-A, all their chicken comes in pre-brined. So, that's the reason why Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches are kind of unique and have a special flavor. So, anyway. And
another, while we're talking about brining, a lot of folks have moved to dry brining now instead of using a liquid solution. And you see this a lot with barbecue guys. But basically, dry brining is even easier. But you just put your meat of choice on like a cooling rack on a sheet pan, salt it really well, and just put it in the fridge for a couple hours, and it has the same effect. It's really good. So that's chicken. All right. So now the main event here, our recipes, is steak.
I'm a ribeye or New York strip kind of guy. I prefer ribeye, but it seems like the ribeyes here lately, I've been seeing everywhere, have just been really fatty and gnarly. So I like that extra marbling, the extra, kind of the butter, natural butter. And New York strips are good too. T-bones are probably kind of a close third. Sirloins, I mean, if you marinate them, I think sirloins are all right, but it's kind of like eating shoe leather sometimes.
Yeah, sirloin can taste really good if you cook it right.
Mm-hmm.
You just got you can't. They're not very forgiving, I would say.
I think the key to a sirloin is there's so many different cuts of a sirloin, because you have like a baseball cut, you have top sirloin, It all depends on what part of that sirloin knuckle it's coming from. But there's actually a thing called a jacquard, Jacard, that I would use you can take a really bad piece of meat and use a jacquard. Jacquard is basically just a handheld mechanism. Basically, it's just
it looks like a spiky thing.
Yeah, it looks like a block, and it has these spikes in it. So when you push it down, the spikes actually come through the block and actually just basically tenderize the hell out of the steak. So that's the only time like a sirloin's actually edible. And be honest with you, a lot of restaurants that use sirloin, like the chains like Longhorn, Outback, Lone Star, Sagebrush, these guys get steaks that are already pre-jacquarded. Mm-hmm. So they run through a mechanized jacquarding system that actually kind of tenderizes that way they can buy that $2 steak and sell it to you for $14 because
sure.
It's that's the reason why people are like, why, my sirloin's always horrible at home and why theirs different. Well, that's the reason why. It's because they pay for that type of meat.
Yeah, then you pay for it.
Yeah.
A little side note, I had a steak from Longhorn takeout a few weeks ago. It was the anniversary dinner, I think. Was it anniversary? I don't know. Anyway, it was really close to my anniversary. So and I haven't been to Longhorn forever, but I was like, I want a steak. I don't want to cook it myself. I just got back from a trip. So I went and it was probably the best takeout food experience I've had in the pandemic as far as I ordered it, I think, medium rare, expecting to get it medium out of the box when I got home, Yeah.
And
it was medium rare.
Oh, wow.
I was very impressed by that, and it was good. I've had a couple, we don't eat a ton out, but almost all the takeout food I've had recently in pandemic time has been, it can't be, it just hasn't been great, but Longhorn gets my seal of approval, right, at least for now. Yeah, steak. So me, like I'm a medium rare. I'm a ribeye guy, just like you. For a long time, I thought filet was it because it was the most expensive one, but it doesn't taste like anything. So I kind of went away from that. If you want tender, maybe filet is pretty good.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why a lot of restaurants used to offer bacon wrap fillets because it adds fat to the steak. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. As far as like cooking one on the grill, really it's just a super high heat.
Well, it depends what temperature
fast as possible.
Steak.
Yeah, even if you want it, I guess if you want it medium well, you need to be a little more careful. But who eats your steak like that? Come on, people.
Well, my parents eat their steak. My parents like that temperature above well, which is like cremated. So you gotta, you gotta cook it really slow, just that way it's edible for them. But then they question the outside of the appearance of the steak because it doesn't look like the bottom of your shoe, So
yeah. That reminds me. We went to a hibachi restaurant when I was like a teenager or something, and my mother ordered a well done steak. And so the guy, at the hibachi, he cuts it all up, and he's fed everybody. And my mom's steak is just still sitting there on the deck, cooking. And he just looks there, and he goes, "Next time, call ahead." It's like it took forever.
That's funny.
It kind of stuck with me. Steak. I feel like, it's figuring out what temperature you want. The best steak probably I've ever had. Have you heard of the reverse sear method?
Yeah.
So essentially what reverse searing is you're kind of smoking it first and you're getting it to the temperature you want, and then you're searing at the end. So the thermometer kind of comes in handy here. And there's a company called, I think it's ABC Barbecue Company. It has some like, if you're using a Weber kettle or any grill, really, they have some tools. And they do something called a cold grate method. So they'll cook the steak to 130, whatever, 134 for medium rare, and then they will flip the steak over to the cold side of the grill and then spin it over to the coals, where they'll flip it so that so basically you don't get grill marks. Instead of grill marks, you get a complete crust on the steak because the grill's not already hot already, and it comes out. I highly recommend you look it up and try it out. because it is the best flavor I think I've ever had on a steak. You season it, pretty, salt, pepper, whatever, just salt even. Fantastic.
I do like sous vide style.
Oh,
so, yeah. So that's probably been my favorite. I'll be honest with you, I don't know, we've been doing a lot of steaks on a cast iron skillet.
Mm-hmm.
I know people probably call me crazy, but I like that kind of crusty. You get all the pan sauce with the steak, but we keep it simple too. I keep it simple. My wife can't cook a steak. I keep it simple though. So salt, pepper, season steak. And I actually season my steaks ahead of time and actually let them get up to room temperature. It just makes a better product in my mind.
Yeah. That was a question actually someone asked about if you bring your steak up to room temp for an hour or so before cooking it.
I do. Like if you're for grilling, I do. Now, if I was smoking like a pork butt or something like that, you want that as cold as possible.
Cold, yeah,
because that way you have more opportunity for smoke to penetrate the meat there.
So it's funny this question came up about the bringing your meat up to temperature, because I watched a cooking channel experiment guy. He does a lot of really good stuff. I think it's called Guga Foods. I'll put a link in the show notes, but he basically tested the theory of that, and he did a taste test. He did 2 steaks. He did one right out of the fridge and one that he let set for 2. First, he tested the bacteria level and all that kind of stuff for the food safety. 2 hours was the limit to leaving it out from a food safety standpoint. He basically did an A/B test on 2 steaks, and he said he couldn't taste or tell any difference in the 2 products, which I thought was interesting. So whether it makes a difference or not, I think it's going to be up to the cook who's making the food or eating the food.
Sure.
For him, it didn't make a difference, on that. So try it, see what happens. Let's see if there's any other questions. Someone likes rare steak. Broil them in the oven. Okay, yeah. I do have a circulator, so the sous vide steak. My second favorite steak is probably a sous vide steak. Which doesn't count as grilling unless you finish it on the grill.
Yeah,
that's a lot of trouble to get the charcoal out for that.
Yeah.
As far as cast iron, my only issue is the smoke in my house. So I almost have to take it outside on a gas burner or something.
Yeah, but the cast iron ticket is, you get your oven or stove topped up to about 7 or 8, let it get red hot, then on. Basically throw the meat in there, give it a 2-minute thing, flip it over, throw it in the oven on 500, and let it finish cooking in the oven. That kind of gets your smoke level down. But I know what you're saying, because I've set our alarms off several times.
Lots of times. Every time I sear anything in a cast iron pan, it's going to be a smoke alarm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Basically. All right. Well, move on here. There's no other questions there. So, do you do any grilled? You said you kind of already answered this, but veggies or sides or other.
I like actually tomatoes.
Oh,
tomatoes are like a sliced, beefsteak tomato. 10 seconds on each side, a little bit of salt and pepper. Just basically heating them up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of milk mozzarella cheese and chopped basil and a little bit of sliced red onion and vinegar. It's really good. But, just like a grilled caprese salad.
Sure. That sounds pretty good.
I'm not a big fan of squash and zucchini. I think they're probably 2 of the most useless vegetables out there. But, if you slice them in planks and then marinate them like a standard cheap Italian dressing.
Or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let them marinate and actually grill them. That sugar's in the Italian dressing caramelize, and it's really nice flavor. Asparagus, bacon wrapped asparagus, naked asparagus.
Any asparagus, yeah, man.
Yeah, I think those are great. But yeah, the grilled tomato, real thick slice, beefsteak, local, seasonal. I think that's probably one of my favorites. It's just a simple item, kind of breaks up, especially if you're eating a fatty steak. Acidity of that tomato helps break up that umami flavor. Everyone calls it, just that real earthy, fatty fattiness of it. The acidity helps break that up. So
Rodney says we sound like Martha.
which one?
Martha Stewart? Which Martha? Yeah, I don't. So I agree with pretty much everything you said there with the squash and stuff. But one of my, I kind of discovered this a couple of years ago, was grilled okra. Take just whole okra from the store and toss it in olive oil and put I think the rub, I think it was actually, I was doing this at my mom's house and she had like this Paula Deen all-purpose seasoning, which is just, it's like salt, pepper, garlic powder, maybe something else. I took the cap off the top, yeah, and tossed that in with the okra and grilled that. Man, that was really good. But the problem was you got to eat it immediately because once it gets cold, it's cold okra, So basically it turned into like a chef snack, I'm sitting on the grill throwing like little napalm okra bombs in my mouth. They're really good, but they're really hot. So.
I'm I really like fried okra. I've got kind of, I don't know if it's growing up the way we did, where money was stretched and we had like leftover okra was made into goulash soup on a Sunday, and the okra getting all slimy. So I can't do okra anymore.
Can't do it anymore. Yeah, it's got to be crispy. It has to be deep, like really crispy, deep fried.
Yeah,
really well salted, and it can't be cold.
Yeah,
those are my requirements.
Well, that's the reason why in Cajun cuisine, there's a lot of okra is added to a lot of the soups and sauces and stuff, because the sliminess of okra is actually a thickener. So
yeah, there's a chemical in there that it thickens everything. I like it. It's one of my favorites. Is there any other sides?
I'd rather drink cold medicine than eat okra. I mean, that's pretty bad.
Lisa wants you to write down your grilled tomato recipe. Maybe I can transcribe it when I'm editing and put it in the show.
Actually, I've grilled romaine before, like make a grilled Caesar salad. I've done that.
Oh yeah.
Grilled broccoli, Rob. Probably tried about everything in our produce section on a grill, I'm sure. I've grilled sliced apples. I mean, grilled oranges,
Peaches, oranges. What's that like?
Well, like we did, I remember one time we did a catering for had lobster tails, and you grill orange slices to go complement the lobster. So, really good. Grilled lemon slices for fish. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. I mean, yeah. There's like beans and casseroles and, like a hash brown casserole on a grill. Does that count as a side, or will you allow that, Judge? Or
that's a good question. Well, we're probably going to dive into that here on our next, when we get into part 4 of our discussion here. I don't know, because I've cooked some things, like I've grilled, like caramel. Well, grill's the wrong word. I've put a cast iron pan on the grill for onions.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just because that's where I was cooking. That's what I did. Where I'm cooking over a fire or something. If I'm camping with a cast iron pan. So there's an accessory we didn't really talk about. Get a cast iron pan to put on your grill, because you can do a lot of extra stuff with that.
Absolutely. You can actually bake cornbread on the grill too.
Ooh.
Actually, you do those onions like you're talking about, and just actually do the onions and caramelize them in the cast iron. Actually, save them, and you can make like French onion soup the next day or whatever. It's a really unique flavor. So,
anybody hungry yet? So next topic's fruits. We got some people in the chat room talking about fruit, peaches, pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
I've done pineapple. I feel like you have to do fresh pineapple to get a good result. And that's a lot of work. It's so soggy.
The only time I've ever used pineapple would be for like a sauté. As far as fruits, peaches are probably the best. I would say it's probably most favorite. Grilled banana Foster's is pretty good. So I've grilled bananas on a grill.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, I've slow grilled coconut halves on a grill, and then you actually carve those out, and you can use those in various things. I've used coconut shells on a grill for actually to bake fish with. Kind of unique. So there's all kinds of cool things you do. Yeah,
that'd be interesting. What kind of, like a whitefish or some kind?
Yeah, like a halibut. I'm not a fan of mahi, but halibut, grouper, things like that. Real delicate whitefish.
Yeah, I like black. Mahi has to have a ton of seasoning to make it good for me.
The best part about mahi is throwing it away. That's about my take on mahi.
It's like steak fish, like a fish steak. Okay, you guys, any questions? Yeah, banana there. So we're going to move to the last kind of piece here on the specific grilling stuff. And so this isn't even a game, but we're going to make a 3-course meal. We'll make an appetizer, main course with side, and a dessert. Your only cooking source is your grill. Your only heat source, I want to say. Those are the stipulations.
All right. I guess appetizer. Man, I do like. It's like you take like a large shrimp, butterfly, whatever, or at least break or devein it basically.
Yeah.
And then a little sliver of jalapeno, cheddar, wrap in bacon. Just something simple. But I'm telling you, that little caprese, the grilled tomato caprese salad, that's probably one of my favorite appetizers, I would say. You?
Yeah, for appetizer, I think I would probably do my first thing. I was thinking bacon wrapped shrimp from the get-go. I used to actually marinate the shrimp in pineapple juice a little bit, like a pineapple slice, like a chunk in between there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the trick with bacon wrapped shrimp specifically is the bacon cooks way slower than the shrimp does.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to pre-cook it a little bit so your shrimp doesn't turn into like a little shrivel up, especially on high heat. What other appetizer? I mean, I don't eat a lot of appetizers at home, so I don't cook a lot of that kind of stuff. The okra it turns into an appetizer half the time because I'm sitting there. I know it's your favorite. But I'm sitting there cooking and I'm just eating them right off the grill because they're better that way.
Maybe I'll have to try them, but I'm sitting there trying not to throw up in my mouth now. So yeah.
Sorry, I don't like tomatoes, but I think I would eat that caprese thing with a balsamic. People like a balsamic vinegar on there.
Balsamic glaze, yeah.
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 Okay, so main course / side for that.
I'm going old school here. I think like a ribeye with like an Oscar. They call it Oscar style. They basically have jumbo lump crab meat and hollandaise sauce.
Okay.
I like that. When I eat fat kid meals, I love all the fat in one time. So the hollandaise sauce is basically cold cooked eggs. I mean,
it's butter and eggs. Yeah,
but it's butter, eggs, and it's cold cooked with lemon juice. And
yeah,
if you add a little tarragon and red wine vinegar to it, oh son, that's some good eating right there. But no, the jumbo lump crab meat and just the fattiness of the steak, I don't think you can beat it. I mean, it's good stuff. I do like grilled sea bass, but I'm going to stick with hollandaise topped. Yeah, well, stick with the hollandaise topped ribeye. But I think grilled asparagus would be perfect for that. It'll complement.
All right, I'm making my meal plan for next week now. So I'm going to go like carne asada, I think, for my grilled. So I like taking a flank steak and doing a carne asada marinade with like lime juice and a little bit of sugar and I think some vinegar. There's all kinds of stuff that goes in that marinade. But for me, the key to it is to marinate it for like 48 hours. Sure. This flank's a little chewy.
Yeah.
And this actually happens a lot of times when I go camping. I'll put the steak in the marinade and put it in the cooler like Thursday night, and then I cook it on Saturday. and just put it over a hot fire, and it's fantastic.
What's the marinade?
Oh gosh, let me pull it up real quick. I'll actually,
Well, I have a the old school steakhouses back in the day. They would always get cheap meat for like the people coming in didn't want to spend $40 on a steak, and they would call it a club steak. I'm not exactly sure what club that was, but it was called a club steak. And they would marinate these things, and it actually would take you'd take your shoe and make it tender. And basically all it was is orange juice, pineapple juice, and soy sauce, and maybe a little bit of raw garlic if you want to fancy it up. But yeah, the longer that stuff marinates, I mean, you could take this can right here, marinate it, and be fork tender in 48 hours. So
yeah, that reminds me of the Texas Steakhouse, not to be confused with Texas Roadhouse.
Right,
had a steak called the Marshall Dillon. It was a ribeye. It was a good, as opposed to taking a cheap piece of meat. This was a good ribeye, marinated for 48 hours in like fruit, pineapple juice, and a bunch of citrus.
Yeah,
unreal. And they've got this crust on that thing. But the carne asada marinade is olive oil, soy sauce, lime juice, apple cider vinegar, sugar, black pepper, little ground cumin, 4 cloves of garlic, lots of garlic, minced jalapeno, and like a half a handful or a big handful of cilantro, like chopped up real good. And you just let it sit in there for days, cook it up. And it's fajitas is what I would make that with. So I'd grill up some peppers and onions and stuff.
Yeah, one of my favorite, something very similar to that. One of my favorite is chimichurri sauce. So and that's good with, and chimichurri is good with pretty much anything. I think chicken, pork, beef, seafood goes great on seafood.
And that's just garlic and cilantro.
It's cilantro, oregano.
Oh, oregano. There you go. Yeah.
Parsley, garlic, red wine vinegar, salt, a boatload of garlic. But the red wine vinegar, the salt and pepper. But side note, it was developed in Argentina for British troops because they just had left. Or a lot of British troops were transferring from India, and I guess they had that kind of flavor of curry, and Argentina had nothing like that. So the locals misinterpreted "give me curry" for chimichurri, so there was some lost in translation. But it's a great product, though. So
chimichurris, I love chimichurri, especially on a good steak.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Picked wrong. Yeah, so I would do tortillas and all that stuff on the grill, heat them up. So next, dessert time. I guess we ate all that food. A little something sweet.
You can make a really, or you can actually make creme brulee in a cast iron skillet.
Okay.
But I really love peach cobbler in a cast iron skillet in the grill.
Yeah. I love peach cobbler.
Oh yeah,
cold out of a can.
Yeah, I don't know about a can, but I got what you're saying. It's good stuff. Yeah,
yeah. I think I'm going to go very simple on dessert, and it's not going to really go with the theme of nothing really goes with the theme. But if I'm going to make a dessert and kind of keep it simple, I really like making s'mores on my grill. And that's the thing I think a lot of people don't think about, because you think campfire, you got to go heat up the marshmallow.
Sure.
But my problem with s'mores is the chocolate's always cold, and the graham crackers, when you're making them around in the circle. But if you just do it all on like a piece of foil or put them in a cast iron if you want to, on the grill, everything gets hot and melty, and the flavor is so much better.
I like that.
That's very approachable for folks that aren't making the chimichurri or the steak Oscar. You can always make s'mores on your charcoal grill or gas grill. Make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Biggins talking about grilled pound cake.
Yep. It's good stuff.
Grilled pound, you cook it and then grill it and then put like some strawberries or something on there maybe?
I can't remember if I made this for him or not, but you actually take I'm I can't remember if I've shared this with them or not. I think I have, maybe not. But it's very simple. You can grill your pound cake on a grill or cast iron skillet, and then you can actually make a separate side sauce of basically any type of fruit, peaches, strawberries, whatever, just a lot of brown sugar, butter, and then you're gonna help to glaze that with bourbon. And you kind of make a bourbon, like a bourbon strawberry sauce, bourbon blueberry sauce, whatever, and you can actually drizzle that over pound cake. It's really good. But yeah, that's a good call, Big, and pound cake is really good.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, final thoughts for our grilling episode. I think don't have more questions here. I would just say, I've got some other toys that I like to cook with outside. Just want to give them a quick shout out. The first one, and we'll probably have to do a whole other show on smoking meat, but I do have a pit barrel cooker I love for smoking. I got started though on my Weber, on the kettle grill. So you get a kettle grill if you're just starting out with this stuff, and learn how to smoke on that.
Yeah,
it's very versatile. You only need one thing sitting on your patio if you do it that way. And then I had a gift a couple years ago, was a wood-fired pizza oven. I'm not sure if anyone's seen pictures I've put up of this thing, but it gets up to 900 degrees. So it'll cook a pizza in a minute and a half. And it makes like that real like Neapolitan stuff. I've got a couple of cast iron pans for that. It's a uni. I'll put a link in the show notes to that. Like I got mine as a gift, like a Christmas present. And then like they coming out with more and more things that I would love to have, but I don't have a big enough outdoor space for.
Right.
Like they have like 4 different pizza ovens and they all look, I want all of them. And I only make pizza like once a month.
Yeah.
But some of the best pizza I ever had. So do you have any final kind of
things I'm exploring in the future? I'm once we move, I'm going to kind of set up an outdoor area. And obviously I want to pick up a pellet smoker, which is the crock pot of smoking.
Right.
But for the ease of it, because I just don't have a lot of time, I would like to have an outdoor pizza oven because I think that would be kind of unique and cool for parties and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to have my crusty ass charcoal grill. So.
Yeah. And, go back to the s'mores thing. I've made s'mores pizza in that uni before, and it's amazing.
It's like a fat kid dream right there.
Right?
Yeah, sounds good.
S'mores pizza,
wow.
Dessert pizza. So that was our grilling show. I think the Facebook folks, the 3 people there that were chatting, loved it. So we'll see what everyone else thinks. So if you want to wrap it up.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully we'll have the whole gang back together. The band will be back together next week. You reach us on our Southern Fried Philosophy page on Facebook at Southern Fried Philosophy. You can also check us out on our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. Where do you download your podcast? Please go there. Hit subscribe. Just look up Southern Fried Philosophy right there. Yellow and red logo. Also, if you haven't registered to be a donor yet, organ donor, don't forget to do that. Next time you go renew your driver's license, just go in there and let them know you'd like to be an organ donor. You can help save someone's life.
Yep. Until what would Biggins say? Keep looking up,
or go to the cookout.
Go, yeah. I want to hit the fridge right now. So you guys take care.
I see.